Hello, boys and girls. Here I am again with a few little stories for you, like we did last time. You remember me, the English guy, Neil Scott-Barbour, Avery's grandpa. So here's something for third graders, a number of stories that I'm going to do from Shel Silverstein, Jack Prelutsky, and then also perhaps Hippopotamus, because that's a favorite of mine. So this is a Shel Silverstein book, and it's called Falling Up. And the first one I'm going to do, I'll show you the picture first, and then you'll understand when I start to read about that. Look, see that lady with all the cats? Well, here's the story.
No, I do not want a kitten, no cute cuddly kitty poo, no more long hair in my cornflakes, no more midnight meowing mews, no more scratching, snarling spitters, no more sofas clawed to shreds, no more smell of kitty litter, no more mouses in my bed. No, I will not take that kitten. I've had lice and I've had fleas. I've been scratched and sprayed and bitten. I've developed allergies. If you've got an ape, I'll take him. If you have a lion, that's fine. If you brought some walking bacon, leave him here, I'll treat him kind. I have room for mice and gerbils. I have beds for boars and bats. But please, please, take away that kitten, quick, before it becomes a cat. Well, it is kind of cute at that.
I guess she decided to keep the little kitten. Here's another of my favorites. This is, I don't know whether you'll see the pictures on this. It's called Noise Day. Noise Day. And it says,
let's have one day for girls and boyses when you can make the grandest noises. Screech, scream, holler and yell, buzz a buzzer, clang a bell, sneeze, hiccup, whistle, shout, laugh until your lungs wear out. Toot a whistle, kick a can, bang a spoon against a pan, sing, yodel, bellow, hum, blow a horn, beat a drum, rattle a window, slam a door, scrape a rake across the floor, use a drill, drive a nail, turn the hose on the garbage pail, shout yahoo, hoorah, hooray, turn up the music all the way, try and bounce your bowling ball, ride a skateboard up the wall, chomp your food with a smack and a slurp, chew, chomp, hiccup, burp. One day a year to do all of these, the rest of the days, be quiet, please.
And here we've got a picture of some of the boyses and girlies, doing silly stuff, banging on drums and all that kind of stuff. All right, next. This is a story about Long Leg Lou and Short Leg Sue. Long Leg Lou and Short Leg Sue went for a walk down the avenue, laughing and joking like good friends do. Long Leg Lou and Short Leg Sue. Says Long Leg Lou to Short Leg Sue, "Can't you walk faster than you do? It really drives me out of my mind that I'm always in front and you're always behind." Says Short Leg Sue to Long Leg Lou, "I walk as fast as I'm meant to do." "Well, then I'll go walking with someone new," says Long Leg Lou to Short Leg Sue. Now Long Leg Lou, he walks alone, looking for someone with legs like his own. And sometimes he thinks of those warm afternoons back when he went walking with Short Leg Sue. And Short Leg Sue strolls down the street, hand in hand with Slow Foot Pete. And they take small steps and they do just fine. And no one's in front and no one's behind. All right, here's another one coming up. This is, I bet a lot of you like cereal, don't you? And you all have your special choices, whether it's Cheerios or cornflakes or raisin flakes or whatever it might be, oatmeal maybe. So I thought this was an interesting one. Maybe some of you have Rice Krispies. It's called cereal. Rice Krispies stay crisp, though they now and then lisp as they whisper their snap, crackle, pop in your bowl. And though you pour a tall can of milk on your all bran, it never will turn into glop, so I'm told. I know shredded wheat will stay crumbly and neat, though you soak it a year in the depths of the ocean. And from breakfast to lunch, your post-toasties will crunch to show you their love and undying devotion. Oaties stay oaty, and wheat checks stay floaty, and nothing can take the puff out of puffed rice. But I wish they'd invent a cereal for someone who likes it all floppy and drippy and droopy and lumpy and sloppy and soggy and gloopy and gooey and mushy and nice. A little story about Screamin' Millie. And here we have a picture of Screamin' Millie with a wide open mouth. Screamin' Millie. Millie McDivitt screamed a scream so loud it made her eyebrows steam. She screamed so loud her jawbone broke, her tongue caught fire, her nostrils smoked. Her eyeballs boiled and they popped out. Her ears flew north, her nose went south. Her teeth flew out, her voice was wrecked, her head went sailing off her neck. Over the hillside, crossed the stream, into the skies it chased the scream. And that's what happened to Millie McDivitt. At least I hope all you screamers believe it. Do we have any screamers in this school? I don't know. Well, it's just going to go on a little bit more. Some of my favorites. Here we go. This one's a good one too. It's called Bad Cold. Just a cold. And it's a bit, this cold is too much for my shirt sleeve. Go get me a Kleenex and fast. I snivel and wheeze and I'm ready to sneeze and I don't know how long I can last. Achoo! It's too wet for a Kleenex, so bring me a handkerchief quick. It's achoo, no joke. Now the handkerchief's soaked. Hey, a dish towel just might do the trick. Achoo! It's too much for a bath towel. There never has been such a cold. I'll be better off with that big tablecloth. No, bring me the flag off the pole. Achoo! Bring the clothes from the closet. Achoo! Get the sheets from the bed, the drapes off the window, the rugs off the floor, to soak up this cold in my head. Achoo! Hurry down to the circus and ask if they'll lend you the tent. You said they said yes. Here it comes, oh Lord be blessed. Here it is, achoo, achoo. Oh, there it went. Hope nobody has a cold. Don't get a cold as we go into spring. We don't need colds. Okay, here's another one. We're still doing Shel Silverstein here. It's about it's kind of a school story, silly story, of course, like many. It's called Obedient. And you know what that means, because sometimes the teachers tell you you have to be obedient. And your mom and dad sometimes say you have to be obedient. You have to obey what we say. So it's called Obedient. Teacher said, you don't obey. You fidget and twidget and won't sit down. So go stand in the corner now, till I say you can turn around. So there I stood, till it got dark, without a whimper or a tear, till everybody else went home. I guess that she forgot me here, and that was Friday, so I stayed all through the weekend, being good, and Monday was the first day of summer vacation, so I stood through hot July and sticky August, trying to obey her rule. Stood right there until September, when, yikes, they closed down the school, boarded up the doors and windows, moved to a new one way across town. So here I've stood for 40 years in dark and dust and creaky sounds, waiting for her to say, turn around. This might not be just what she meant, but me, I'm so obedient. Here I am, I've become an old man standing in the corner. Excuse me. Next one. This is a little girl, and she has quite a few shoes. You'll see the picture here. See those shoes in her closet? Well, that's what the story is going to be about. A closet full of shoes. Maybe you have lots of different types of shoes as well. So here they are. She's got party shoes with frills and bows, working shoes with steel toes, sneakers, flip-flops and galoshes, boots to wear with Macintoshes, brogans, Oxfords, satin pumps, dancing taps and wooden clumps, shoes for climbing, shoes for hikes, football cleats and baseball spikes, shoes of shiny patent leather, woolly shoes for winter weather, loafers, rough-outs, sandals, spats, high heels, low heels, platforms, flats, moccasins and fins and flippers, shower clogs and ballet slippers, a zillion shoes and just one missing. That's the one that matches. Listen, she's just got the one shoe on. She's looking for the other. Oh my gosh. So that's a little bit of Shel Silverstein. I think I'm going to move now to another guy, Jack Prelutsky. Don't know whether any of you know. He writes a little bit like Shel Silverstein, silly stories. As you can see, A Pizza the Size of the Sun is the title of this book. He's got lots of different books, but let's do a few from here. Maybe you know somebody like this. I don't know. It's called My Brother is a Doodler. My brother is a doodler. He simply loves to scrawl. He doodles, doodles, doodles with his crayons on the wall. He doodles on the windows and he doodles on the door. And doodles, doodles, doodles on the ceiling and the floor. All day he doodles, doodles. He doodles everywhere. If there's no place to doodle, he doodles in the air. He doodles, doodles, doodles on my pillow, on my sheet, and sometimes he even doodles on the bottoms of my feet. See that? Doodle on the bottom of his feet. All right, next one. One of my favorites. I'll show you the pictures on this in a little bit when I've gone through it. It's called I Did a Nutty Somersault. Somersault. And I guess there's some of you boys might do this too. Oh, I did a nutty somersault and landed with a thump. I struggled to my feet again, but tumbled on my rump. I tried to keep my balance, but invariably fell, and every time I toppled, I let out another yell. Backwards, forwards, even sideways, I fell every sort of way, as a growing crowd applauded my theatrical display. I flopped, I flipped, I skidded, I performed a barrel roll. My arms and legs kept flapping. They were out of control. My feet shot out from under me. The moment I arose, I took a flying header, nearly damaging my nose. So I suppose I'm qualified to offer this advice. When you try out your roller blades, don't do it on the ice. Here's some of the nutty somersaults he does here. Nutty somersaults, all kind of ups and downs and ins and outs, ridiculous. So, ice skates for ice skating rink, not roller skates. Roller skates, what's that? Okay, let's do something else. It's called The Parrots. The Parrots. The parrots Garbed in gaudy dress, with almost nothing to express, delight in spouting empty words. They are extremely verbal birds. Oblivious to all they say, they often talk the day away. At times they open up their beaks and ramble on for weeks and weeks. The parrots, when they voice a word, are imitating what they've heard, and yet they seem to love to chat. Do you know anyone like that? Now, this is really, they're all pretty silly, I know, but this one's a really silly one. It's called misinformation. So you know when you get good information, that's information. But if you get it all wrong, you're giving misinformation. And that's her name, Misinformation.
I'm Misinformation. It's my gratifying task to tell you all you need to know. You only need to ask. The seas are thick with elephants. The skies are purple straw. You measure with an octopus. You hammer with a saw. I'm filled with facts and figures I gratuitously share. The stars are silver footballs. Tangerines have curly hair. Gorillas fly at midnight, and a month has 7 years. Tomatoes play the clarinet. Bananas have long ears. I'm Misinformation, and there's nothing I don't know. The moon is chocolate pudding. Macaroni grows in snow. A buffalo is smaller than the average bumblebee. If you think of any questions, simply bring them here to me. And here are some of the pictures related to the misinformation she gives us. Misinformation. This one is called Little Boy. I made something strange with my chemistry set. I made something strange with my chemistry set, something all gluey and blue, something a little like half-scrambled eggs mingled with vegetable stew. As soon as I'd made it, it started to move. It slid from my bench to the floor. I knew where it was without having to look. Its odour was hard to ignore. It bubbled and sloshed as it oozed through my room, then started eating my toys. It seemed to enfold them and slurp them away while making a blubbery noise. That slobbery thing had a will of its own. It snuffled all over the house. It frightened my sister and panicked the cat and melted my mother's best blouse. It soon found the kitchen, and after the bread, the butter and cheese disappeared. It slopped up the oleomargarine too, and now it's grown even more weird. I'd better undo it before it decides to try something totally vile. Right now it's en route to my kid brother's room. I guess I can wait for a while. Here it is. This is the experiment on this side, and it's going all through the house. See, it's going all through the house to his brother's room. Interesting. All right, now I'm going to do a favourite of mine, and I think a favourite of many of you. And I've done it before, done it at school. It's Opossumondus, one of the 3 Opossumondus books. So that's what we're going to do now. I hope you enjoy. I will, of course, try to show you these pictures from time to time. Here is Opossumondus. Here's a picture. I'm going to show you the pictures each time, and then I'm going to read this bit here too. Okay. So, Opossumondus was his mama's and his auntie's sweet little patootie. They just loved him to death. Opossumondus used to go see his auntie most every day, and she nearly always gave him something to take home with him.
He is off to Auntie's, off to Auntie's. One day she gave him a piece of rich gold cake. Hippopotamus took it in his hand, scrunched his hand up tight, and went along home. See that? Went along home. Oops. On his way home, he passed Alligator, and Alligator asked him, "What you got, Hippopotamus?"
Cake,
he replied. Don't look much like cake to me," said Alligator. When Hippopotamus got home, his mama looked at that fist, full of crumbs, and she said, she's looking at it, the crumbs in the hand, she said,
"Hippopotamus, what do you have in your hand?" "Cake, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." "Oh, Hippopotamus, you don't have the sense you were born with. That's no way to carry cake. The way to carry cake is to put the cake on your head, put a hat on your head, and come along home. Do you hear me, Hippopotamus?" "Yes, Mama."
So she's telling him what to do. See? That's what he's got to do. By and by, on another day, when Hippopotamus was visiting his auntie, this time she gave him a pound of freshly churned butter to take home with him. Hippopotamus put it on his head, put a hat on his head, and went along home. It's kind of what Mama had told him to do. On his way home, he passed Raccoon, and Raccoon asked,
"What you got, Hippopotamus?" "Butter," he replied. Don't look much like butter to me,"
said Raccoon. There's the raccoon. When Hippopotamus got home, his mama looked at him and she said,
"Hippopotamus, what do you have in that hat?" "Butter, Mama. Auntie gave it to me."
"Oh, Hippopotamus, you don't have the sense you were born with. That's no way to carry butter. The way to carry butter is to wrap it up in some leaves and carry it down to the brook. And you cool it in the water, and you take it up carefully in your hands and come along home. Do you hear me, Hippopotamus?"
"Yes, Mama."
You see the butter that he brought home that time dripping all over his head? So she sent him off. Maybe one time later. And here we go. By and by, on another day, when Hippopotamus was visiting his auntie, this time she gave him a sweet little puppy dog to take home with him. So Hippopotamus wrapped it up in some leaves and carried it down to the brook. And he cooled it in the water, and he cooled it in the water, and he cooled it in the water, and then he took it up carefully in his hands and went home. On his way home, he passed Nutria, and Nutria asked,
"What you got, Hippopotamus?"
"A puppy," he replied.
Don't look much like a puppy to me," said Nutria.
See, there's Nutria. There's Hippopotamus. When Hippopotamus got home, his mama looked at that poor little bedraggled puppy, and she said, "Hippopotamus, what do you have in your hands?"
"A puppy, Mama. Auntie gave it to me."
His mama not doing real well, worried, confused. "Oh,
Opossumundus, you don't have the sense you were born with. That's no way to carry a puppy. The way to carry a puppy is to put the puppy on the ground, tie a piece of string around the puppy dog's neck, and take the piece of string and come along home. Do you hear me, Opossumundus? Yes, Mama. See that? Yes, Mama, he agrees with the string. Yep. Well, by and by, on another day, when Opossumundus was visiting his auntie, this time she gave him a freshly baked loaf of bread to take home with him. Opossumundus put the bread on the ground. See that? Put the bread on the ground. Tied a piece of string around it, took the other end of the string, and went along home. On his way home, he passed Armadillo, and Armadillo asked,
"What you got, Opossumundus?"
"Bread," he replied.
Don't look much like bread to me," said Armadillo.
The bread on the ground, and there's Armadillo. When Opossumundus got home, his mama looked at the thing on the end of the string, and she said, "Opossumundus, what do you have on the end of that string?" "Bread, Mama. Auntie gave it to me." Look at that little, it's like crumbs on the bread, breadcrumbs. "Oh, Opossumundus, you don't have the sense you were born with. You never did have the sense you were born with. You never will have the sense you were born with. Now, I'm not telling you any more ways of bringing truck home, and I don't want you going to see your auntie either. I'll go see her myself." And Opossumundus's mama got her basket, but before she left, she said, "Opossumundus, do you see those 6 pies cooling there on the porch?"
"Yes, Mama."
"Well, Opossumundus, you be careful about stepping on those pies." Then Mama went off to see Auntie. There she is talking to him. And there she is saying, "Be careful with those pies. Careful about stepping on those pies." So what does he do? And then Opossumundus was careful about stepping on those pies. He stepped right in the middle of every one, being careful, like Mama said. That is really the end of that. But of course, Opossumundus loves to swing on tree branches. There he is. That Opossumundus, what will he bring home next? That's going to be it for this time, children, boys and girls. Hope you're all staying healthy and safe. Social distancing when you go outside with Mama or Papa or both. And hope you're doing your homework like Ms. Anderson wants you to do. Bye-bye from Neil or Scott-Barbour. Read to you again in a week or so. Bye now.